Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Lee Diffie from NBC Sports with you, welcoming you all to the Media Centre here at Barber Motorsports Park, and for all of you live online on the IndyCar Facebook Live page. A really great day, a really great occasion for us all to get together and talk about and celebrate and find out more about what is the best and most exciting global motorsports story of 2017, no doubt about that. Joining us, the Executive Director of the McLaren Technology Group. He's come home, American Zach Brown. Beside him, two-time Formula One World Champion Fernando Alonso, founder, CEO of Andretti Autosports, Michael Andretti, and the CEO of the Holman & Co., which is, of course, the IndyCar Series and Indianapolis Motor Speedway parent company. Mark Miles, I want to start with you first. After celebrating the 100th running of the Indy 500 last year, there was so much to celebrate, but that also reminded us of the long and deep and rich history of the Indy 500 being truly an international event, and whether that be from the drivers' nationalities or the fact that it's celebrated globally. What does this announcement with Fernando and with Andretti Autosport and McLaren and Honda mean to the 101st running?
Well, it's a big deal. But let me, before I answer your question, just have this public chance to say thanks to Zach and McLaren and for Fernando for his interest in doing this, and for Michael and Andretti for putting it together, and for somewhere in the back of the room, I think our friends from Honda are here. So it really was a team effort to get us to this day. It's a really important opportunity for us. IndyCar racing is growing in its fan base. We came off a great 100th running in Indianapolis, and Fernando's entrance into the picture for this year really gives us another big opportunity. I know the drivers are looking forward to mixing it up with you, Fernando, and the attention that we've seen already from around the world is really significant for us. In fact, when Fernando is in Indianapolis the week after next, I think on May 3rd, I'm going to be in 4 days in London, Paris, Milano. Let's see, we're going to be in Barcelona and Madrid. And we're going to be there while he's in Indy, really taking the opportunity to tell the IndyCar story and remind people of that rich history. I've read clippings back from the very first race in Indianapolis, and I don't know how people communicated, but the world was interested in the Indianapolis 500-mile race from its first day, and Fernando's presence will make it even bigger this year.
Zach, for you, the NBC Sports Group got together with you at Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya recently. We never expected to see you here at Barber Motorsports Park. From the IndyCar side of things, a lot of team owners and just everyone in the IndyCar community thinks you're the coolest team boss. Some of your colleagues over on the F1 side say you're the craziest team boss. Which one is it?
Probably somewhere in between. This is an outstanding opportunity, I think, for the world of motorsports to be able to come to Indianapolis, as McLaren has once, done more than once, done 3 times, and one, to do it with Michael Andretti, and then ultimately to have Fernando Alonso as our driver, I think is just a outstanding opportunity. It came together very quickly. Wouldn't have happened without Mark Miles, Michael, Stephen Wilson, I think is a bit of the unsung hero in this whole process. And we're really excited, and can tell you, I'll let Fernando speak for himself, but I've never seen a driver so excited, dedicated, and motivated to run in a race. So I think, like all of you in here and everyone around the world, we're excited to see the month of May.
Michael, for you, as an Andretti, the Indianapolis 500 has been kind of the centerpiece to your life. For you, your son, and your father, you've amassed 56 Indy 500 starts. I mean, it's the core of the family, right? But this is a wonderful collaborative effort for the Andretti name, Andretti Autosport as a team and as a company, for McLaren, the heritage of McLaren at the 500, Honda, you get a 2-time world champion. Was it pretty complex to bring it all together?
It was a little bit, but the ultimate goal was, we got to figure out a way to make it happen, because this is just going to be such a huge deal, and it's going to be great for everybody involved. I don't think there's one person that's involved in this thing that's not going to get something out of it. I think it's just going to be a fantastic thing. I think there's so much interest all over the world. I think it's going to be great for Formula One. I think it's going to be great for IndyCar, great for the Indy 500, great for our team, great for McLaren. I mean, it's great. So, yeah, it was a little complicated there, because of some of the plans that we already had in place, and we had to rearrange things, and that's where Stephen Wilson came in, and he was gracious enough to step back and take a year off, and we'll do it next year. But he understood the magnitude of this, and hats off to him for helping out and making this all happen.
And Fernando, for you, I mean, just this program, your announcement has created such a buzz here in the United States for all people involved in motorsport. You've done so much, you've seen so much, you've achieved so much, but I don't think in your illustrious racing career you could have ever imagined the words, "Welcome to Alabama."
Yeah, hello everyone. Yeah, it's true. Obviously, my first time here, and hopefully not the last. I will come hopefully to see a little bit more about Alabama, not only the circuit, but yeah, it has been an amazing week or 10 days from the announcement. So really exciting about this opportunity, for any racing driver in the world to compete in the best races is the main goal. Against the best drivers and with the best and the fastest cars in the world. So this is what I'm trying to experience with the Indy 500 adventure, and yeah, I'm really looking forward. I know that it's a very difficult challenge for me to get used to the car, get used to the super speedway and all the techniques that are you need to be on top of it, but I have the best team around me. I have an amazing people that will help me to speed up this process, and it's so challenging that it's exciting at the same time, because I think I need to go through different steps in this learning that I need to do it in 2 weeks' time, no more than that, and that's quite exciting. And as I said, I'm looking forward. Would like to thanks obviously McLaren, Honda for this opportunity, and all the Andretti Autosport team, because I think to make it happen you need the help, and now from now on I think the next couple of weeks will be interesting, but yeah, as I said, looking forward. Couple of trips, Europe, USA, back and forth. Next weekend we will race in Russia for the Formula One Grand Prix, and come back for the test, and then the Spanish Grand Prix, and then come back for the Indy 500. So yeah, busy schedule, but as I said, try to learn as quick as I can.
When you were a young kid, teenager, young man growing up in Spain, as a young racer, Formula One was the objective. To be a Formula One world champion was the objective. Not necessarily for this project, but when did the Indianapolis 500 come across your radar and was something that you noticed?
Let's say that 4 or 5 years ago, I started thinking about how to let's say grow up as a driver and become a little bit a more complete driver. To do so, I think you need to win the best races in the world. And the most prestigious races in the world, and how to achieve that, I think, is Formula One, Indy 500, 24-hour Le Mans, which is called the Triple Crown. And that target, very ambitious target, because only one man in history did it. It was quite attractive at the time, but I didn't think that it was possible to attempt another race apart of Formula One until I was retiring from Formula One. So to make it happen now in this year is something that making me very, very proud from my team, and makes me very happy as well, because I will have the first attempt. Obviously, winning is something really big, and I think you need a lot of things that comes to you, but I take it more like an experience, very open. I know that if the race was tomorrow, I'm not ready to do it, because I know nothing about it, but I will go step by step, trying to do some simulator laps, try to be as good as anyone on the simulator first, as good as anyone on the qualifying and running alone than anyone else, and then as good as anyone else on traffic, when it gets time. So day by day, but on Sunday, 28th, I want to be as prepared as anyone else.
Well, we have a lot of people here keen to talk to yourself, Mark, Michael, and Zach. Folks, if you just raise your hand, Pat's on this side, Kate's on that side. Kate, if you want to start first, and you can fire your questions in.
Absolutely. We'll start with Louis Frank from Reuters.
Excuse me, Zach. To borrow a British expression, what do you think the knock-on effects for Formula One awareness in the U.S. will come out of this adventure?
I think this is great for Formula One. I think everyone in here is interested to see how a two-time world champion, a Formula One driver, gets on at the Speedway. And so I think that'll draw a lot of fans that follow Fernando and McLaren and Formula One to Indianapolis. And then, of course, I think people in the United States will be equally as keen. So I think this is a win for everybody in motorsports. I don't see any downside to the story whatsoever.
We'll go to CNN.
I'm going to make the question in Spanish. ¿Cómo estás, Fernando? Un gusto que estés acá. Quiero preguntarte, has hablado hace un momento de tu objetivo de hacer lo mismo que hizo Graham Hill, pero ¿piensas hacer el cambio en un mediano plazo o tienes eso también como objetivo, pasar de la Fórmula 1 a competir en la IndyCar, por ejemplo?
You got that? Yeah. I answer in Spanish, or yeah? No, el objetivo es más la triple corona que pasarme a la IndyCar. Así que tomo esa carrera como único objetivo. Esperemos que pueda ser competitivo y poder conseguirla un día, pero no me planteo correr todo el campeonato de IndyCar en el futuro. Lo mío es la Fórmula 1, me siento bien allí y seguiré en Fórmula 1 y si hago son carreras sueltas fuera de ella.
We'll go to Bruce Martin from Fox Sports.
Two questions for Fernando. How much will it help having a former Formula One driver as your teammate in Alexander Rossi? And then I have a follow-up to that.
It's going to help. I'm sure, with Alexander, with Takuma as well, that has the experience from F1. They can, give me some tips, I'm sure. But I think that the whole team, the environment that Andretti put on, I think, for the race will be the best part or the most beneficial part. So I'm really looking forward. I've been working already last week, exchanging some emails with the engineers and looking some data, and that process will go on. So it's not only the Alexander or Takuma help. I think that the whole team is really the best team that could be for this adventure.
And you're also driving for a team owned by an Andretti, which is one of the most famous names in racing. What does the Andretti name mean to you?
Well, it means a lot. Obviously in motorsport, Andretti is part of the history, and we cannot understand motorsport in any series, with not the Andretti name on it. So, we all grew up following these heroes, and now to be part of the team is an amazing thing, and I feel very, very privileged and I'm very proud.
Other questions? Yes, Mark Cipollone from Auto Racing One.
Fernando, you have a very large fan base. What's been their reaction to you doing this? Do they think you're crazy for running on a high-speed oval, or have they, with open arms said, "Go do it"?
It has been great. I think all the fans, they welcomed the idea. It was completely unexpected. I think with the level of professionalism and the level of commitment that in the last 2 decades motorsport has been, is difficult to jump from one series to another in the same season. So this has no precedents probably and in history, and also the last drivers that attempt something similar, they have bigger experience, so they had a couple of months of preparation, more tests, and different ovals and super speedways test as well. So this is quite a unique thing. I'm aware of it. I'm aware of the difficulty. All the fans, I think, are aware of this, but if you love motorsport, I think this is a good news.
David Mulcher, motorsport.com.
Hi, Fernando. If you don't win, have you considered how often you would want to come back and try again? And Zach, would you let him?
You start first. Let's take it, day by day. We see on the 29th, Monday, what is the situation, how much I enjoyed the experience, how competitive I felt, if I had fun, which is the priority for me. I do this because I love racing cars and I love driving the fastest cars. So the name of Indy 500 is the biggest race in the world. So it's very attractive to race it, to enjoy, and to feel that unique experience. I think everyone is telling me that will be a unique atmosphere and a very intense day. So after that, I think wherever, despite the results that we will achieve on Sunday, we will think together what is the future from that point. I'm very open, and if I want to be the most complete driver in the world or the best driver in the world, and I want to win all the series in different cars with different driving techniques that I need to adapt and I need to grow up as a driver. If I want to do that, I need to win it. And if it's not this year, we will plan it for the next attempt.
Other questions?
So, so I would like to see McLaren, Honda competing in Indianapolis every year. Originally, this was an idea that I thought we could pursue in 2018. And given the circumstances of how we are running in Formula One right now, and Fernando's desire, and our desire, and Honda's desire to win together, this created a very, very small window of opportunity that we jumped on. McLaren is a big fan of IndyCar racing. I think it's fantastic motorsports. I've personally been around it my whole life, so I'm very excited on a personal level to be here. And we had just enough time to do this very properly. When I called Mark and then ultimately Michael, it was good that he was already far down the road with the car, because we need to be competitive. The whole idea is to run at the front of the field. We have good preparation. We've brought in Jill DeFerrin to assist Fernando in his way around Indianapolis. And yeah, I'd like to see McLaren here on a more regular basis. And would we do it with Fernando again? Absolutely. I hope we have the problem of Monaco and Indy in the same weekend and we are fighting for the championship. So whether what happens in 2018, we'll have to wait and see, because obviously we're working very hard to give Fernando and Stoffel Van Dorn a much more competitive car than we are producing right now.
Other questions? Yes, sir, in the back.
I guess this is for Zach. Is this only possible because you're a Honda Works team? Would a Renault driver, a Ferrari driver, or a Mercedes driver have the opportunity, considering this is a Chevy Honda series?
From our standpoint, we would have only done it with Honda. Ultimately, all teams have different relationships with their manufacturer partners. So if it was a customer team, they might not have the same restrictions on their drivers. But we're a Honda team, very committed to them, and we were only ever going to do this with Honda.
Any other questions? Yes.
What's been the reaction from the other drivers that you participate with, the other F1 drivers?
I didn't get
The
it.
reaction of the other F1 drivers.
The question was, your peers in Formula One, what
Yeah.
have their thoughts been?
We don't talk much there. So it's a different world, and I don't know. The only thing that I know is probably what you guys read, because it's what I read as well. Some of them are happy for me and happy for this thing, and curious to see how competitive we can be. Some others, they are not happy with anything in life. So, so this was another thing for their own problems. But it's okay. I think different world.
Yes, Drew Lawrence from Vice.
Fernando, in that 3 to 4 years where you're thinking about pursuing the Triple Crown, were these private thoughts, or were there people in your camp that sort of, when this announcement came, were like, well, we kind of knew this was going to happen. We've been waiting for this to happen for a while.
Well, I think it was just more my private feelings and my ambition and committed to the sport in general. That I have this idea always in my mind, to compete first in the 24-hour Le Mans, because I think it's a series that will not need probably a big adaptation time, because the cars they feel similar, I guess, on driving, and some of the F1 drivers that jump into the Le Mans car, they have no difficulties in terms of adapt. So the biggest task is definitely the Indy 500 for a Formula One driver. So yeah, it came this year, this first opportunity, this first attempt, and really looking forward. But I think it comes everything from a private ambition, and my own thoughts.
We'll go back to Bruce Martin from Fox Sports.
Fernando, as an added bonus, you get to race again with Juan Pablo Montoya. What's it going to be like racing with him after so long?
I don't know if he will be in the front.
I like that.
No, man. This is great. To race against the best drivers in the world. That's the main thing. And here, not only Juan Pablo. There is Oriol Serbia as well that I know quite well. So there are a few drivers, or let's say 20-25% of the drivers that I know from the F1 experience in the past or the recent past. So really looking forward. I take Juan Pablo like one of the best drivers in the world, one of the most talented drivers I ever compete against. So to come here and to drive together in the super speedway will be a massive thing for me. Hopefully I will learn, as quick as I can. I'm watching a lot of his onboard cameras because I think he's one of the best out there. So yeah, really looking forward to talk also in Indy with him and to have some dinners or something, because any tips will be very welcome from him.
Question from Paul Tracy, NBC Sports Network.
Fernando, how similar now is say a McLaren or a Ferrari simulator to the real world on the track? And how many hours do you think you're going to have in the simulator around Indy before you actually get on track?
I think in F1 the level of the simulator are quite high. We use it a lot for setup and for car development. We also use in the simulator on the Grand Prix weekends. So maybe we do the free practice and then we ask the simulator guys to test something for us that we implement those changes on Saturday morning before qualifying. So there are a lot of work going on the simulator in F1. I don't know exactly how is in IndyCar and how will be the simulator that I will test on Indianapolis. But yeah, hopefully I can get some learning out from there and see how much I can use it. You know, I'm very open. I'm full committed to work, so I can use it even after the free practice in the evenings. I will miss dinner if it's useful, the simulator, so as many hours as possible.
Another question from Auto Racing One, Mark Cipollone.
Fernando, this kind of racing is much different than what you're used to. What do you think is going to be your biggest challenge? Is it going to be the rolling starts, running at the high speeds next to a wall, running inches apart in traffic? What do you think is going to be your toughest challenge?
Everything you said. You know, I think it's quite different. It's challenging. The traffic, I think, the level of downforce, the feeling with the car, running with a car that is not symmetric on the straights, on braking. The traffic, I think, is a big thing, or is what I'm hearing. But yeah, let's see if I can learn as quick as I can. I think the restarts, you know, the strategies are a little bit different as well. But as I said before, I'm with the best team possible for this type of lessons that I need to learn. I'm also with Coach Gilles de Ferran, which I'm sure will be very, very useful for all these new things that I need to learn. So, you know, we will be prepared. If we are ready now, not. If we will be in 3 weeks' time, yes.
We can take 2 more questions if anyone needs anything else. Yes, Louis Frank Reuters.
Bienvenidos. So you've been studying a lot, but have you learned the idioms like push and loose?
I didn't get everything yet. You know? So yeah, it's a completely different driving techniques and different approach. But you know, as I said, it's huge excitement. You know, this whole thing and this race for me. So I'm looking forward, and I will learn, you know, starting from zero as a rookie or even less than a rookie, May 3rd. But I'm confident that we will be ready.
We'll take our last question from Krista Hardy.
Fernando, what's the best piece of advice you've been given about running the Indy 500?
Enjoy. That's something that this race is so unique and so big, you know, that you know, to experience those emotions and to drive in that place that day is something that everyone is telling me to enjoy it, you know, because everything happens so quickly. You are so focused on the race that you know, you tend to forget what you are doing and where are you in that moment. So I'm ready to enjoy everything that I live in that day.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. Gentlemen, if we could please get you to rise for a photo opportunity in front of the backdrop, and photographers, if you'd like to gather in the front for the photo.